And a North Carolina man has pled guilty in Bluefield, West Virginia on a federal drug crime. This man, 39-year-old Keith Deshawn Adams out of Statesville, North Carolina, entered that guilty plea to possession with the intent to distribute 5 grams of more methamphetamine along with a quantity of fentanyl. Now in the court, Adams admitted to trying to flee on foot before being asked to exit a vehicle during a traffic stop in Oak Hill in 2022. During an ensuing struggle, Adams opened a bag that he was wearing, took out a plastic baggie containing fentanyl powder, and he tore that bag open, which caused the fentanyl to spill onto the officer, who did end up suffering an apparent overdose. Other officers secured Adams, and a second officer also suffered an apparent overdose as well. Adams is set for sentencing in September of this year and faces a mandatory minimum of 5, but up to 40 years in prison and a $5 million fine.